Hey y'all, welcome to the rapid fire review of a bunch of movies in 2019. If it's not here, then I have not watched it. I will say either to pass, wait for streaming, or watch it as soon as possible. So, let's go. Number 1, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm a Spider-Man fanboy at heart, but I can leave my bias aside to tell you that this is the best superhero movie I have ever watched. Late 2018 through late 2019 was a phenomenal year for Spider-Man, and this movie is the peak of it. A movie with so much heart, passion, jokes, emotion, style, just absolutely stellar in every way. Please support this movie, buy digital, just so we get more creatively risky movies like these. Number 2, Lego Movie, the second one. Can't complain much about this one. It's just a lot of fun, just like the first, but with slightly less funny jokes compared to that one. Still a lot of heart nonetheless, and a great message for kids about family, friends, and growing up. Great watch for families, as the humor is clever enough for parents to get at least a snicker. Wait for streaming. Number 3, Captain Marvel. It's not great, it's a passable movie in quality, however it is crammed with a lot of introductions to important characters to the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and as far as we can tell, it's quite crucial for the universe. If you're not invested, it is definitely skippable though. Pass or wait. Number 4, Shazam. It's amazing. With the gritty and dark atmosphere that the DC movies usually have, this one was an absolute delight and a breath of fresh air. The movie is not only funny, but it is just fun to experience and it does not take itself too seriously while still having a lot of wholesome messages for children. Wait or watch, depending on if you crave a superhero movie or not. Number 5, Avengers Endgame. The Endgame. What can I say that hasn't been already said in a 2-hour video essay? The combination of years of movies that has the most satisfying climax to a character arc and a storyline that could not have been made if not done so across these many movies. Do not watch it without watching all other MCU movies beforehand to get the maximum amount of bang for your buck. But if the box office is anything to go by, you have already watched it like 3 times already. Number 6, Detective Pikachu. The first actually good video game movie. Don't at me. I don't know why you would at me, because I'm right. Detective Pikachu looks phenomenal, has a few actual funny jokes, and the story was actually quite interesting, and didn't let me down. If this is the first in the trend of better video game movies, as the Sonic's movie seems to show, then the future is very bright. Wait or watch it if you're a fan of the franchise, / want to support better video game movies. Number 7, Aladdin. I don't know how Disney could have made a remake of a movie that is worse in every possible way than the original one. The only maybe positive is that the movie has more scenes which don't even add all that much other than a bit more to develop Jasmine? I don't even know if that's a pro or a con. The fun energy of the movie was just not there. Animation is definitely the correct medium for this movie. Pass. Number 8, X-Men Dark Phoenix. Oh boy. How far have we fallen, X-Men? This movie is just a mess. There's just so many things going on at the same time, but it is all surprisingly boring. This being the last of the X-Men movies from Fox is bittersweet in a way. It is such a disappointing and genuinely bad entry in the franchise, but at least Marvel has the characters now. Pass up on the movie, it will get rebooted for the MCU eventually. Number 9, Men in Black International. Meh? I went into Men in Black International with low expectations, as Hollywood usually ruins franchises when rebooting / expanding them. However, although this wasn't a good movie, just mediocre enough actually, it didn't ruin the franchise or affect the previous movies in a negative way. They're definitely way better movies to spend your time though. Skip it if you want an action movie, just watch Spider-Man. Number 10, Toy Story 4. A phenomenal ending? I thought the third movie was going to be the ending, but the fourth provides a conclusion to some characters I never knew needed it past the third movie. But I'm not complaining, to be honest. Having grown up with this franchise, seeing it conclude in such a heartwarming way was quite touching. And even if you would watch all of the series back to back today, this one would still be equally as satisfying and would not feel as tacked on as it seems on first glance. Wait or watch, depending on how much you like the franchise. Number 11, Spider-Man Far From Home. Must make clear, fanboy here, but Far From Home was just a phenomenal summer flick. It was a lot of fun to sit through, the action scenes were one-upped from the first, which is quite surprising, and the teen drama aspect was more woven into the Spider-Man bits, which is exactly what Spider-Man is about, that dynamic between Peter and Spider-Man. Better than the first, with an amazing ending that is just straight out of the final page of an 80s comic book. Watch it, please. Number 12, Lion King. An empty shell of its former self. Compared to the animated version from 1994, this has no charm, barely any expression from the characters both visually and vocally, and even the betrayal scene, the iconic betrayal scene, is ruined by this live-action adaptation. This is a great example of why not every movie should be done in live action. Worse in every way, more than in Aladdin. Pass on it, watch the original, it's a million times better. Number 13, Joker. Joker, the $1 billion R-rated wonder. The exploration of Joker's character and how the Joker is created in society is done so masterfully, and Joaquin Phoenix does a marvelous job of conveying the Joker's inner pain. I would say it is one of the best superhero movies that have come out in a long time if it weren't for Marvel's Cinematic Universe existence. This is still a really well crafted film, definitely watch. Number 14, Jumanji Next Level. A pleasant surprise, I was not excited at all for this movie, and I went into it with extremely low expectations along the lines of a cash grab. But it was actually fun and entertaining. Not a masterpiece, of course, the plot is very simple and the humor is pretty standard, although I expected worse. Good to watch with young children, wait for streaming. If you don't have any children, I say pass. Number 15, Parasite. There will be no visuals for this segment. This movie is best experienced as blind as humanly possible. Please do not search anything up about this movie. Just know it's a very tense movie that puts the tension of Joker to shame. It is a masterpiece of cinema and highly deserving of the many Oscars it won. Support this film, please. And if you can't, still watch it. It is outstanding in every regard. Number 16, Jojo Rabbit. Such a pleasant surprise. I went into this movie with no expectations and was delighted with what I saw. A movie with so much charm, so many good jokes, and a surprisingly family-friendly and overall cheery way of telling the horrors of Nazism while still having truly heartbreaking moments and a valuable lesson for younger audiences. I'll take a 10 to 13-year-old to watch this movie no problem. There are some strong moments though, so be careful and consider what you would like to show your child before watching this movie with them. Definite watch. My favorite movie of the last year was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for just how much fun it was to watch. Very few movies can bring me genuine joy while watching them, and this one just managed to do so due to both the sheer quality of the film and because, well, duh, I love Spider-Man. In terms of unbiased just quality of the movies, I would say that the best superhero movie is still Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. For movies with children and target audiences, I would say Toy Story 4. For more mature movies, I would say Parasite. And the overall best movie I've watched of 2019 is, drumroll please, Parasite. I want to talk about this movie to death in the future. It is just so good, and I am extremely passionate about just how good this movie is. I'll just leave it at that for now. This is what my full ranking is. I bet if I had watched something like Star Wars Episode 9, the list wouldn't change much at all because Star Wars in the current era, so whatever. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more of me, you can sub for other random stuff I talk about, or you can check me out on Twitch where I stream 4 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday at 3 p.m. EST, and Saturday and Sunday at 5 p.m. EST. Once again, thank you so much for your time. Papa bless, love you all, and see you next time. See ya.
She took the knife from the kitchen.
She was about to set us up
to the room she was staying in.